Have you ever wondered why some people seem to discover a life filled with meaning, while others spend decades chasing goals that never truly satisfy them? It's easy to believe the difference is talent, luck, or being born into the right circumstances. But what if the greatest difference isn't found in the world around us at all? What if every person is born with a unique path, one that no one else can walk, one that no one else can discover for them? Imagine reaching the end of your life only to realize you spent years following someone else's expectations instead of your own calling. That thought alone is enough to stop anyone in their tracks. Today's journey is about avoiding that regret. It is about recognizing the quiet signs that life places before us, finding the courage to trust ourselves, and understanding that the greatest treasure we will ever discover isn't hidden in a distant place. It is hidden within us. Welcome to the path only you can walk. Stay with me until the very end, because this journey may change the way you see every dream, every obstacle, and every decision you make from this day forward. Every person begins life with dreams that feel limitless. As children, we imagine endless possibilities without questioning whether they're realistic. We build imaginary worlds, believe impossible things can happen, and trust that the future holds something extraordinary. Then, little by little, the voices of the world grow louder. People begin telling us what is practical, what is safe, and what is expected. We start measuring ourselves against others instead of listening to our own hearts. Dreams that once felt alive become locked away behind responsibilities, fear, and self-doubt. Before long, many people forget they ever had them. They settle into routines that feel comfortable, but strangely empty, convincing themselves that this is simply how life works. Yet, deep inside, a quiet voice continues to whisper that there is more waiting beyond the familiar. Life has an unusual way of speaking to us. It rarely shouts. Instead, it communicates through moments that seem ordinary at first. A chance conversation with a stranger, a book that appears at exactly the right time, a failure that forces us to reconsider everything, a door closing just as another quietly opens. Most people dismiss these moments as coincidence, never realizing that growth often arrives disguised as interruption. Looking back, many of the events that once felt like setbacks eventually become turning points. What seemed like rejection became redirection. What looked like failure became preparation. The pieces rarely make sense while you're living through them, but they often fit together perfectly when viewed from a distance. One of the greatest obstacles on any meaningful journey is fear. Fear has an incredible ability to convince us that staying where we are is safer than becoming who we could be. It tells us that failure would be unbearable, that uncertainty is dangerous, and that other people know better than we do. But fear has a habit of exaggerating risks while hiding possibilities. It shows us everything that could go wrong but remains silent about everything that could go right. If every explorer, inventor, artist, or leader had listened to fear's predictions, countless discoveries would never have been made. The future belongs not to those who never feel afraid, but to those who continue walking despite it. The path toward a meaningful life is rarely straight. There will be moments of excitement followed by seasons of confusion. There will be victories that fill you with confidence and setbacks that test your determination. During difficult times, it becomes tempting to believe you've taken the wrong road. But every meaningful journey includes moments when the destination disappears beyond the horizon. These moments are not proof that you failed. They are opportunities to strengthen qualities that comfort could never teach: patience, resilience, humility, and faith. Growth often happens quietly, long before the results become visible. Perhaps the most important lesson you'll discover is that comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose sight of your own direction. Every person has different gifts, different struggles, and different timing. Watching someone else's progress while ignoring your own is like trying to navigate using another person's map. Their destination isn't yours. Their challenges aren't yours. Their purpose isn't yours. The only meaningful comparison is between the person you were yesterday and the person you choose to become today. Every small improvement, every lesson learned, and every courageous step forward is evidence that you are moving closer to the life meant for you. As you continue listening to The Path Only You Can Walk, remember that this is not simply a story about reaching a destination. It is about becoming the person capable of appreciating that destination when you finally arrive. The greatest rewards in life are rarely the achievements themselves. They are the wisdom gained through the journey, the courage discovered in difficult moments, the compassion developed through struggle, and the confidence earned by refusing to give up. Sometimes the treasure you've been searching for isn't waiting at the end of the road. Sometimes it is the person you become while walking it. Every meaningful journey begins with a single decision, the decision to take the first step before you feel completely ready. Most people spend years waiting for certainty. They want guarantees that everything will work out, that every risk will be rewarded, and that every sacrifice will lead to success. But life has never made those promises. Instead, it offers something far more valuable. It offers possibility. Every great adventure, every remarkable achievement, and every extraordinary life begins with someone who chose possibility over certainty. They understood that confidence is not something you possess before taking action. Confidence is something you earn because you took action. Every step forward teaches you something the previous step never could. Waiting teaches very little. Walking teaches everything. One of the greatest misconceptions about purpose is that it arrives like a lightning bolt, instantly revealing exactly what you're meant to do with your life. In reality, purpose often reveals itself gradually. It grows stronger with every experience, every lesson, and every challenge you overcome. Imagine trying to see the end of a winding mountain trail while standing at its beginning. The path disappears around every corner, making it impossible to know exactly what lies ahead. Yet with each step, another section of the trail becomes visible. Life works in much the same way. You don't need to see the entire journey before you begin. You only need enough courage to take the next step. The path only you can walk teaches that obstacles are not interruptions to your journey. They are part of the journey itself. Every obstacle asks you a question. Will you allow this difficulty to define you, or will you allow it to develop you? The answer shapes the direction of your life. A mountain climber doesn't expect the path to be flat. They understand that steep climbs are what lead to breathtaking views. Likewise, the moments that test your patience, your determination, and your faith often become the moments you treasure most when looking back. Without struggle, resilience could never exist. Without uncertainty, courage would remain undiscovered. Without setbacks, success would lose much of its meaning. There will also be times when life seems strangely quiet. No opportunities appear. No major breakthroughs happen. It may feel as though you've stopped making progress altogether. These seasons can be discouraging because we often mistake silence for stagnation. But nature reminds us that the most important growth frequently happens beneath the surface. A tree spends years strengthening its roots before it reaches impressive heights. During those unseen years, it isn't standing still. It is preparing for future growth. Your own life follows the same principle. The lessons you're learning today may not reveal their value until years from now. Trust that every experience is adding something valuable to the person you're becoming. Along the journey, you'll encounter people who question your choices. Some will genuinely care about your well-being. Others will project their own fears onto your dreams. They may tell you your goals are unrealistic, that your ambitions are too big, or that you're wasting your time. Their words can feel convincing because they often come from people you respect. But remember this: advice is always shaped by the experiences of the person giving it. Someone who has never pursued an extraordinary dream may struggle to understand why you refuse to settle for an ordinary life. Listen with humility, but never allow someone else's limits to become your own. Another important lesson is learning the difference between being busy and making progress. Many people fill every hour of the day with activity, yet move no closer to the life they truly want. They answer emails, attend meetings, scroll endlessly through information, and complete dozens of small tasks, only to realize months have passed without meaningful growth. Progress requires intention. It asks you to focus your energy on what truly matters instead of simply reacting to whatever demands your attention. At the end of each day, don't ask yourself whether you were busy. Ask yourself whether you move one step closer to becoming the person you want to be. As you continue forward, you'll begin noticing that the journey changes your definition of success. Success is no longer measured only by external achievements. It becomes measured by inner transformation. Have you become more patient than you were a year ago? More courageous? More compassionate? More disciplined? These invisible victories often matter far more than the visible ones. Wealth can be lost. Recognition can fade. Circumstances can change overnight. But the wisdom, resilience, and character you develop along the way become permanent parts of who you are. No one can take them from you. There is also great power in learning to trust the timing of your own life. Modern culture encourages constant urgency. It tells you that you're falling behind if you haven't reached certain milestones by a particular age. But life isn't a race with a universal finish line. Every person's journey unfolds according to different circumstances, different lessons, and different opportunities. Some people bloom early, others bloom later. What matters is not when your breakthrough arrives, but whether you continue preparing yourself to recognize it when it does. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active faith combined with consistent effort. Eventually, you'll discover that the greatest reward isn't reaching a destination you once dreamed about. The greatest reward is realizing that the journey has transformed you into someone capable of creating new dreams, embracing greater challenges, and inspiring others to begin walking their own paths. The person who first started this journey may have been uncertain, fearful, and unsure of what lay ahead. But step by step, challenge by challenge, that person became wiser, stronger, and more confident. Not because the road became easier, but because they grew through every mile they traveled. And perhaps that is the deepest truth of the path only you can walk. No one else can live your life for you. No one else can make your choices, discover your purpose, or become the person you were created to be. Others may guide you, encourage you, or walk beside you for a while, but eventually there comes a place where only your footsteps can continue. When that moment arrives, don't hesitate. Don't allow fear to convince you that you're unprepared. Trust the lessons you've learned. Trust the strength you've built. And trust that every step taken with courage brings you closer not only to your destination, but to the truest version of yourself. Because the most extraordinary journeys are never about finding a new world. They're about discovering the extraordinary person who has been waiting within you all along. There comes a point on every meaningful journey when excitement fades and commitment is tested. The beginning of a dream is often filled with energy. Everything feels possible. Every step is exciting because the destination seems close enough to imagine. But eventually the road becomes ordinary. The progress slows. The results become invisible. the voice of doubt begins asking whether all the effort is really worth it. This is where most people quietly turn back. Not because they lack talent, but because they mistake temporary discomfort for permanent failure. The path only you can walk teaches that this moment is not the end of your journey. It is the place where your character is forged. Anyone can continue when the path is easy. The people who transform their lives are the ones who continue when every reason to quit seems perfectly reasonable. One of the greatest gifts life can offer is uncertainty. At first, this sounds completely backwards. Most of us spend our lives trying to eliminate uncertainty. We want predictable careers, predictable relationships, predictable outcomes, and predictable futures. Yet, if everything were guaranteed, there would be no room for growth, discovery, or adventure. Every meaningful opportunity begins hidden inside uncertainty. No inventor knew their idea would succeed. No explorer knew exactly what they would find. No entrepreneur received a promise that their business would thrive. They moved forward despite not knowing. In many ways, uncertainty is simply another word for possibility. The future remains unwritten, which means it still holds room for miracles you cannot yet imagine. As you continue walking your own path, you'll begin realizing that life has a remarkable way of placing teachers in your journey. Sometimes they arrive as mentors, ours whose wisdom changes the direction of your life. Sometimes they arrive as friends who remind you of your strength when you've forgotten it yourself. And sometimes your greatest teachers appear disguised as your greatest challenges. A painful failure teaches humility. A difficult relationship teaches patience. A season of loneliness teaches self-discovery. Financial hardship teaches resourcefulness. Every experience leaves behind a lesson if you're willing to search for it. The people who grow the most are not those who avoid difficult experiences. They are the ones who refuse to let those experiences go to waste. The book reminds us that success without meaning eventually feels empty. Imagine reaching every goal you've ever dreamed about only to discover that you sacrificed your health, your relationships, your peace of mind, and your integrity along the way. Would that truly be success? Lasting fulfillment comes from building a life where achievement and purpose walk together. The happiest people are rarely those who have accumulated the most. They are often the people who know why they wake up each morning. Their work reflects their values. Their relationships reflect their character. Their decisions reflect the kind of person they genuinely want to become. Purpose transforms ordinary work into meaningful contribution. Another truth quietly reveals itself as you travel farther down your path. You cannot carry everything with you forever. Some beliefs must be left behind. Some fears no longer deserve space in your mind. Some habits no longer belong in your future. Even certain relationships may naturally come to an end because they no longer support the person you're becoming. Letting go is rarely easy because familiarity feels comfortable, even when it limits your growth. But every mountain climber understands that carrying unnecessary weight only makes the journey harder. Growth often requires releasing what once served you so that something greater can take its place. There will be moments when you question whether your efforts matter at all. You may work tirelessly without immediate recognition. You may improve yourself while nobody seems to notice. You may continue planting seeds without seeing any flowers. During these seasons, remember that the most valuable transformations happen long before the world applauds them. A sculptor spends countless hours shaping stone before anyone sees the finished masterpiece. A musician practices thousands of notes before performing on stage. Excellence is almost always invisible before it becomes obvious. Never confuse a lack of recognition with a lack of progress. Your future is being built even when today's results appear small. One of the most beautiful discoveries you'll make is that kindness is never a weakness. In a world that often celebrates competition, Kindness can seem ordinary, yet it possesses extraordinary power. A single encouraging word can restore someone's confidence. A simple act of generosity can change the direction of another person's day. Genuine compassion creates ripples far beyond what we can see. As you walk your unique path, remember that your greatest legacy may not be the goals you achieve, but the lives you touch along the way. People may eventually forget your accomplishments, but they rarely forget how you made them feel. The journey also teaches you the value of silence. We live in a world overflowing with noise. Opinions compete for your attention every second. Everyone seems eager to tell you how to live, what to believe, and what success should look like. But clarity rarely arrives in constant noise. It often appears during quiet moments when you allow yourself to think without distraction. Whether you're walking through nature, sitting alone with your thoughts, or reflecting at the end of a long day, silence creates space for wisdom to emerge. Many of life's greatest answers are not found by searching harder. They are found by becoming still enough to hear them. Eventually, you begin to understand that every chapter of your life has been preparing you for the next one. The disappointments strengthened your resilience. The victories built your confidence. The mistakes taught your wisdom. The delays developed your patience. Nothing was completely wasted. Even the roads that seemed to lead nowhere gave you experiences you now carry into the future. Looking back, you begin seeing connections that were impossible to recognize while living through them. Life rarely reveals its full picture one day at a time. It reveals it only after enough pieces have been placed together. As this chapter comes to a close, remember one simple truth. The path before you has never required perfection. It has only required persistence. You don't have to know every answer before taking the next step. You don't have to eliminate every fear before chasing your dream. You don't have to become extraordinary overnight. You simply have to keep moving. Every sunrise offers another opportunity to choose courage over comfort, hope over doubt, and purpose over fear. One step becomes another. One lesson becomes another. One ordinary day becomes an extraordinary life. And years from now, when you look back on the road you've traveled, you'll realize that the greatest discovery was never waiting at the end of the journey. It was the realization that the path you thought was leading you toward your purpose was quietly transforming you into the very person capable of fulfilling it.